I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Boston trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, confirm or deny, also known as Strud or Dud. You can go either way, Struddy, whichever way you see fit. All right, whichever way you choose.
I gotcha.
Okay, you take it whichever way you want. Statements are made. We go around the table. We either confirm or deny them or Strud or Dud them, whichever way we want. Let's begin with what we're witnessing tonight. Winnipeg at home against Washington. Confirm or deny one of the Capitals or the Jets will be in the Cup final this year.
Oh. I'm going to say Dud. I think that division that Winnipeg's in is really tough. It's a really, really tough one. And I don't know that the East is as strong, but I think there are other teams that are really going to challenge Washington when they get into it. So I'll take the field in this one. Hey, what do you got?
Yeah, I think it's a dud as well. It's like the two of them have been so good. I think I'm sleeping more on Washington in the playoffs. Like they're a big team. They're really well coached. They've been a well-oiled machine all year. Logan Thompson has been really, really good. Like they could do some damage. They really could do some damage, and it would not surprise me. I feel like this is a year Winnipeg's going to win in the first round, and I think put up a good fight against either Colorado or Dallas. But that's a coin flip. Like if you get into the second round and it's a coin flip, and I think you're playing either Vegas or Edmonton in the third round, that's a coin flip. That to me is just the odds are against it. The odds are against two of the 16 teams, albeit the best coming in. They've been great all year. I think it's a dud as well. I think playing the field makes sense. I think Dallas, Colorado, Vegas. You mentioned it. In the East, it's tough to get a read on right now, Struddy, and we'll get to this in a few moments here. But like Carolina's been good, but they don't really scare me. Jersey's really struggling right now. The Leafs have their demons. You know, like it's pretty wide open in the East right now.
It is, and there are some good teams there. But you know, can Florida do it again? Right? They've played a lot of hockey recently. Then you've got suspension on the back end.
Ekblad out the first two games of the playoffs.
Yeah. Toronto hasn't done it. You know, they haven't done it on a long period. Washington, I do love their size. They look so big when they're out there. The Devils, injuries. So I don't think that they can win without those two players, Hamilton and Hughes. Then Carolina, I don't know that they're better after those trades.
Right.
Right,
exactly.
Usually at the trade deadline, you're trying to get better. And I'm not sure that they 100% got. If I had Mikko, I could say, yeah, but now I'm not sure. Then all the teams fighting to get in, to the Sens or, who are we looking at? Islanders?
The Habs or the Islanders.
Yeah. So that fight, I'm not. So I believe the strength is in the West.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But anyone could probably do it in the East, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm passing. I'm going to field.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. All right, confirm that. Strud or Dud? Let's stick with this. Strud or Dud? Okay. Leon Draisaitl's injury has lost him the Hart Trophy.
Oh, I'm going to go that as a dud. Listen, the guy, last time I looked, I think it was 10 to 11 goals ahead of the next scorer.
Mm-hmm.
The problem for him, it's the timing of year.
Yes.
This is where people start to sharpen their pencils. Who steps up in these moments? Unfortunately for Leon, he has stepped up many times in these situations, and I think he would have continued to because he's been such an important player for the Oilers. The most important player for the Oilers has been Leon Draisaitl this year. Now, the flip side is someone else has to step up. So who's going to step up? Earlier we talked about Hellebuck. McKinnon's been good the whole time. I don't know who else in this conversation. Maybe McCarr, but he's taken two players off the same team.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the dud. I think that Leon, I'm hoping he's back for the league-wise after this upcoming weekend. So that means he's missed 4 to 5 games. He still has a little bit of track to get going, inflate his totals, and hopefully take a run at another Hart Trophy.
Yeah, I know. I will say I want it to be dud because I think everything you just said is accurate. He still had, I think, as a skater, the best season anyone's had all year, McKinnon included. I think he's been phenomenal. You know it. You talk about it daily. The guy's been playing with different wingers almost every night. He's carrying these guys, like carrying the line. He's going to get back and get healthy and push 50. He's going to score more than 50, be the only guy in the league to do that. So I don't think it's fair, but I actually think it might be a Strud because of what you said to start your answer, which is this is when the pencils start to get sharpened. Recency bias always factors in. It is a marathon, and that's the purpose of the award. It's what have you done all season long. But in reality, I think voters look at it and say, well, now I think like McKinnon's going to win the Art Ross now. McKinnon's going to finish with more points than Leon. I think that's safe to say. If he misses 3 or 4 more games and McKinnon's healthy and playing, I think the buffer is going to be too large. He will still win the Rocket. I think that's pretty much locked in. But with Hellebuck doing what he's doing, with McKinnon continuing to stay hot down the stretch, if the Colorado Avalanche can keep chasing Dallas, I just think that's an uphill battle. And as unfair as it seems, if he had this injury in November, it wouldn't cost him. But because it's happening at the end of the year, I feel like voters are going to take that into account, and it probably is going to end up hurting him. He'll still be one of the 3 nominees. He deserves to be. He's had a great year. But I'll believe it when I see it that he's back in a few games, Strud. Like, you know what it's like this time of year. Like, no one's ever 100% honest and accurate. No one even knows what's going on with the guy.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, he's banged up. We'll see what happens. Like, if he misses 5, 6, 7 more games, that's it. It's over.
Sure.
At that point.
And it's interesting to have 2 stars off the same team out at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it's a fairly rare thing to happen. Think of that. Like when's the last time I ever saw McCarron and McKinnon both out? Or McCarron, Rantanen.
Couldn't tell you, man.
Name your 2 top players off any team, right? Matthews
and Marner. They're always playing. Yeah, there's always one of them playing at a minimum.
Playing. Yeah.
Yep, you're right. It is a very unique situation in Edmonton right now. Strud or dud, Alex Ovechkin is proving he can and he should play at least 2 more seasons after this one.
I'm going to say it's stud because I think he probably can do it, but does he want to do it? And he's spoken in the past how he'd like to finish in the KHL. So I wonder if after he gets the record, does he say, okay, I'm good. Mm-hmm. And he goes back and plays home, which I understand. If I was playing in the Russian league and did really well, I'd maybe want to come home and play North America as well. So I think it's more about what he wants to do, whether he can do it. So I'm going dud.
Yeah, I will say I'm going to go with a Strud on this because like this guy's going to finish with likely 40 goals. He broke his leg at one point, and he also, I think he's aware like how difficult this is going to be to catch him. I saw this week there was a website that was calculating the numbers, and there's 3 current players that they feel have a chance of actually catching Ovechkin, and it's Matthews, Draisaitl, and Pasternak. Those are the 3 guys. If they stay healthy and they play until they're 40 and they keep scoring at a certain pace, maybe they can catch them. It seems like it's going to be very difficult. It almost seems impossible considering, Gretzky did this 25 years ago and Ovechkin miraculously has caught him. You need so many things to break your way. I wouldn't bet on any of those 3 guys actually doing it. But if I'm Ovi, I'm thinking, I want to pad my stats that much more, right? Which Gretzky did, right? Howe was at 801, I believe it was, and he got all the way to 894. He's like, I don't want to just beat this guy. I want to get way up on him. I'd be thinking the same thing with Ovi if I were Ovi. Also, you're in a great situation in Washington. They're a really good team. Like, they may win the President's Trophy. They're young. They got a lot of guys on great cap hits. They got a great farm system coming. So I hear what you're saying about Russia, but in reality, he could go there when he's 50 and they'll prop him up and play him. You know what I mean? Like it's like the Jaromir Jagr situation back in Czechia. When Ovi decides I'm coming to play in the K, he'll be the captain, the face of the team. He'll be playing 20 minutes a night. They'll prop him up and he'll go out there and play. So I kind of hope he sticks around. And I think he should stick around because he's proving he can still do it. It's pretty incredible.
One more thing on Ovi. Sorry, I saw someone say that he's also going to be the all-time hit leader in the NHL.
Really?
That's what I read. Now, I didn't look it up myself, but that's what I read, that he'll be both.
I guess that makes sense, though, right? This guy, you remember, you played against him. When he came into the league, it was 13 shots, 11 hits, 2 goals. Like, the guy, he hit everything in sight when he showed up.
It's crazy. So, we talk about Brendan Shannon, how he would score and fight, Iginla, Kachuk, all these guys. But for a guy that's scoring this much, and all those guys scored a lot. Like, I don't want to diminish what they did, but the fact that he's scoring and hitting, and I saw that and I could not believe it. To last that long, scoring and hitting at that pace,
incredible.
Yeah,
it is. And you're right. I guess he's 300 hits off the pace, which that's a few years. right?
It'll take a bit.
Like that you're looking at maybe 150 hits a year. I don't know what his average would be. I think he's going to have to play 2 or 3 more years to get that, and that's not a record that is revered necessarily, but I think it's well respected by players, crazy. Right? Like to your point,
crazy.
I think a lot of players would say this guy's going to score 900 goals and have more hits than anybody.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy. What his resume is going to look like with 3 Harts. I think he won a Conn Smythe. Was it him or Holtby that won the Conn Smythe there? I think he won the Conn Smythe when they won the Cup. Conn Smythe, 3 Harts, like 7, 8 Rockets or whatever it is. Most goals, most hits. It's just an incredible career, man.
And arguably the best Stanley Cup celebration we've ever seen.
Yes.
Right? Like, he carried on for a while, and like any of us would have done. But he was first star.
Oh, yeah, man.
In that first star.
Remember him in the fountain in D.C., like swimming around in the fountain?
Loved it.
No
Absolutely
shirt.
loved it.
Like, it was just incredible. Yeah, he did win the Conn Smythe that year. So, like, his resume, we talk about Sid a lot, and where does he end up on the Mount Rushmore? Does he push someone out? Is it him, Gordie Howe, him, Bobby Orr? Ovi's a top 10 player all time, in my opinion, already. I don't know where you stand on that, but, like, should he be considered top 5? Like, can he... You know, it's difficult with eras, and how do you compare Gordie Howe to Alex Ovechkin? But I don't know, man. Like, how many wingers are better than this guy ever in the history of the game?
The challenge is that it's hard to compare to players you didn't see.
Yeah.
But if players I've seen, he is right up there. Right? So, I mean, Mario Gretzky for sure. And I think, obviously Bobby Orr is there. I didn't see him play live, but I think those 3 are on everyone's list, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's like, okay, you've got, all these others amazing players, and the guy who scores the most goals ever.
Yeah.
How is he not in that group?
Right, exactly.
In the conversation.
Right.
Like, just think about that. We just, this guy, no, he scored the most goals ever in the NHL.
Has to be. Has to be.
For sure, top 10, and then where does he go after that? Now, the problem is if are there other players that if they played longer, could they have got closer? I get all those things, but the players I saw, him, Sid, Connor, incredible.
Yeah. No, it's exact. And there probably should be a line. Like, I don't know if it's post-expansion. I don't know if it's, whatever it is in 1980. I mean, that's arbitrary. But maybe it's when Gretzky arrived. Like, maybe that's what it should be. When Gretzky showed up in, like, 79, 80, the last 50 years, he's absolutely in the top 10. I think he'd be in the top 5. But you're right. You got Messier, you got Lafleur, you got Richard, you got Lidstrom, you got, Noodles would say Hasek should be in there, and goalies. And
yeah, fair point.